There we go. What up, everybody? Bam, bam, now. I think the riff's gonna be stuck in my head now. Uh-oh. Let me know how my volume is. Looks like it's going crazy again. Hello, hello. I just might break the switch. Sounding good? Is my voice really loud? My levels are going crazy again. This happened the last Sunday. I have a 100 listener concert. Woo! Can you wish a happy B-Day to my brother Nick? Well, happy birthday, Nick. Happy B-Day. Sounds fine to you? Awesome. Alright, so I'm getting caught up on the chat. And someone we need to address. We have a new member. Jason Wade. So that can only mean one thing. New member riff. New member! Dude, thank you so much for joining, Jason. Needed to address that right away. David says, talk about... Yeah, that's it, man. Hey, new members get the new member riff. Talk about this Les Paul, this gold top. Yeah, I saw someone was commenting about this on Instagram. So this is... I don't know if I've ever done a dedicated video to this one or not. I can't remember. All my videos are just a blur now. But so this is an 89 Les Paul standard, basically is what it is. With, of course, P90s. These are not the original P90s. The actual 89s came with P100s in it, which were noiseless P90s. And I've heard mixed things from people. I still have the original pickups. But it was very much on the fence. Some people dug them, some people hated them. These actually have Gibson Antiquities in them. And I think the neck sounds fantastic. I don't love the bridge. I think the bridge sounds good, but it doesn't match well, oddly enough, with the neck pickup. So I'm actually replacing it with the same P90 that's in my Friedman, the Vintage T, one of the Friedman P90s. I think they sound, perfect. That's about Classic. I don't know if I've played a Classic or not, but I've been asked about those quite a bit. RC, what's up, man? Greetings from Sweden. Daniel, dude, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for rocking. How's my kid handling guitar? It's really good. His guitar is... Can you see it? It's right behind me. We just did guitar practice. Can you have a request? Well, I can't play... If you're requesting people's songs, I can no longer play anybody else's riffs. Tried adjusting the pull piece on the bridge. This? I'm not sure what that would do. See, well, the issue is, so this pickup is actually very high already. You can see, maybe. It's really high. And it still doesn't have enough output to match the neck, and the neck is very low. So, the Friedman P90s have a little bit more like grit to them and growl, and I think that it'll fit this neck pickup a lot better than this one. It's weird. Maybe there's something even wrong with this pickup and I just don't know it. But it seems very weak in comparison. Like I said, they don't match well. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't messed with it because, like I said, because I want actually more output out of it, and it's so high already. The only option is to lower the pickup, which would then just decrease the output on it, and I would just make it sound even weaker. Jason, dude, Jasco, what's up, man? Thank you for tuning in, dude. How about some improv? You know what? How about some improv? And definitely, like I said, let me know if my voice is just like too loud, if it's clipping or anything. use a voltmeter. I'll be totally honest with you. I will never do that. I don't have one, and I will probably never get one. I've tested no pickups. I'm that lazy. No, I'm not changing the bridge itself. I'm changing my bridge pickup. So, did you get a YouTube warning, Robert? Not only did I get one, I got 24 of them so far. So, we were talking about this last stream, you know, which it's okay. I mean, it sucks. It's a total bummer because basically, like, my YouTube ad revenue, which, you know, you don't make tons on YouTube, but it's just like literally just diving down because what's happened is that, you know, they're claiming all my most popular videos, which still get the most views and stuff like that from my channel. But, you know, I made a big shift last year where I was focusing a lot more on, you know, original content. I would maybe like sprinkle in riffs from other guitar players, but not so much riff videos like what I used to do like, you know, 4 years ago or something like that. So luckily have already been on this path of focusing on the more original content. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like I'm dependent on playing other people's riffs. You know, I can make up my own stuff all day long, and I'm comfortable with that. The only part that's really a bummer is whenever I want to do something, like, you know, breaking down an Angus Young solo. Or, you know, I've done a lot of that stuff, so I don't really know how that's all going to come into play. And, you know, we'll just have to kind of, like, wait and see how that goes. YouTube ad revenue has created for everyone since March when they changed the algorithm for Captain. What is it? YouTube ad revenue has cratered. Yeah. Yeah, it unfortunately went like really, really low. So for around $200, probably one of those Harley Bentons, I would imagine. You know, would probably be the best one. So, like I said, I can't play other people's riffs, but I will make up something right here on the spot for you. We'll call this Gibsunday on the fly. Totally not copyright. Suck it, copyright. So that was entitled "Suck It, Copyright." But could you hear Sorry, I'm going to try to get back to questions. But could you hear, I switched up here to the bridge, and it just lost all of its, like, oomph and power, you know? And so I was like, shoot, go back to the neck. And then it had it again, you know? There we go. So I think, yeah, whatever the riff was, it actually wasn't too bad. I was digging it for a second. So I'm gonna have to get a looper so you can solo your riffs. Hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, I need to actually. I had a Skype call with a lot of you guys, you know him, RJ Ranquillo. Hope I'm saying his last name right. Because he did a video saying how to say it. Now I can't say it right. But he was helping me get my live stream stuff set up. Because I think I want to make this like a usual, like regular thing. You know, I don't know how you guys dig the Sunday streams. But maybe just like Gibsundays, you know, are like a usual thing. And I want to get to where I can have 2 streams of audio, like my mic and my guitar at the same time. So RJ was, you know, helping me with all that stuff. He told me how I can use my actual Canon camera as my webcam, so it would look like the quality would be really good. The issue that I have is in our area, the internet is not very fast. It's not terribly slow. But the issue is our upload speeds are slow. So like right now, our internet download speed is 100 megabytes a second, and 10 up. So 100 down, 10 up. I don't think that's fast enough for HD. And they offer something called Ultra, which gives you 300 down and 20 up. But they have to come and install something for you to do that. So I'm like reading up on it to make sure that if 20 is enough, and you know, obviously paying the extra for the faster internet is worth it. Cover protector, fix this. But licks are licks. That's right. That's great to me. Yeah. So like I said, I'm working on, you know, getting that going, because I'm certainly far from happy with the quality that these live streams are right now. What is my take on Fishman pickups? Well, I'm actually a Fishman artist, but before I became an artist, I had their pickups, you know, for a year, and I still believe that the Fishman Classics are the best pickups, you know, I've ever played. It's why I, you know, wanted to become an artist of theirs. Was because I was so, you know, so just kind of like blown away with this like, the way I describe it is like, the pickups just cover like such a crazy dynamic range of sounds. Like I put them in my Acacia, and it just made the guitar sound huge. Sorry. Do you think Jimmy Page was really a sloppy player? I think he like, you know, kind of like was in like a good way, in that like rock and roll, like it's just part of his playing, you know. It's real kind of like this like sleazy style of rock and roll, and that's what made it so great. I think if he would have been like, you know, a jazz aficionado, like technique and all this stuff, I don't know if it would have like come across the same way. That's one of my favorite things about Page. Dude, RJ's new Vola video, I had to like message him. I was like, dude, that your playing was insane. RJ's always amazing. But to me, I was just like, your playing was insane on there, and his 2 camera setup looks really, really good. You know, RJ definitely kind of upped his video quality and all that stuff for that one. How about Friedman Friday? Oh, it's a good idea. Man, I've been thinking, like, I'm like, what is F? I'm like, Fender Friday, but there's already Straturdays, so. Like these Sunday noon hour hangs, awesome. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of like bouncing around. Oh, hold on a second. I don't know. Probably a cat. It is. It's my cat trolling me. She does that during videos all the time. Woman tone. You know what? I feel like this guitar does a very good woman tone. I'm sorry, I thought I saw someone ask about, my wife said she can put her up. No, you don't have to put her up, that's fine. Catterdays, hey! That's so funny. That's what happens when you don't have a doorknob. Man, I know, right? 2019 goals. Doorknob. Are you a WWE fan? Nice shirt. You know what? Not really. To be honest, is what's funny. I watched wrestling as a kid. I was more into like NWO and WCW, but I watched like the earlier stuff with my dad, which Macho Man was always my favorite guy. Or like there were so many of them. I remember when Goldberg first came out and all that stuff. Weirdest thing on Robert's to-do list: doorknob. But yeah, Macho Man was always my guy. I have an Ultimate Warrior shirt too. You know, but for me it was always Macho Man and Hogan and stuff like that. Did I convince my wife to get the black Les Paul? No, it's a work in progress, you know. No, actually, you know, I had kind of like decided, as much as I want one of those, you know, and you know, my wife had like a really good point. She's like, you know, you already have 2 Les Pauls, and that one isn't noticeably going to be different. So the next like Gibson guitar that I really want to get, and I think this is more of like a sound that I just don't have, is like a 335. Because I've wanted one of those for a very long time. To me makes way more sense to get one of those over another Les Paul. You know, just get something different. Because I said, you know, I kind of have the Les Paul front covered. I got a P91, a humbucker one, you know. And then, like I said, I really, really want a Strat, but I think I want one of the Friedman, the Vintage S. After I had those, I think that's like, you know, on the list this year because they're so good. Are we missing 100 thumbs up? Yeah. Smash that thumbs up button. Happened to my SG. I sold that actually. So I was just not, you know, really jiving with that one, and I sold it, and then essentially replaced it with this, which I absolutely love. So, you know, that always when I've gotten rid of a guitar and replaced it with something else, I can't think of a situation where I replaced something with something else where I wasn't more happy with what I replaced it with. You know, because I always get rid of stuff whenever you know, I can tell, like, I'm like, I don't love that guitar. It's a great guitar. You know, I'll tell you one thing. I thought the SG sounded fantastic, but I just, playing-wise, I was not into it, you know. I didn't feel like, you know, I wouldn't see it and be like, today I'm going to play the SG. I would just kind of be like, yep, and just kind of like look past it and go on to something else. And whenever that happens, I'm like, oh, it's time for that guitar to go. Still worth it also getting S and T. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So the vintage S's that I had, because like I said, now I've had, you know, most of the Friedman guitars. You know, they're sending me a NoHo to have for a while. If you don't know, it's their, like, a Super Strat looking guitar, but it has a 24 3/4 scale, like Gibson scale neck. So I'm really interested in that. They had them at NAMM and they were, you know, unbelievable. But the vintage S is different. The Cali has a thinner kind of like shreddier style neck. It's thicker than like Ibanez and stuff like that because I can't go that route. But the vintage S has a round big neck, and I would get like a big neck on it, like I have on my vintage T. Yeah, SGs. You know what? They're fantastic and super comfortable to play standing. When I stood up, I did an AC/DC video, and I stood up and played it. I'm like, oh, this guitar is perfect for standing and playing. Sitting and playing, it made my hands sit weird. Do I see myself getting another SG? Honestly, no. I'll probably never own another SG. Like mine was just a special. That's why I wasn't like too worried about trying it and kind of like investing the money to see like maybe I'll dig it. But no, I don't think that there will be enough of a difference between like a standard and the special that I had. Build quality would be better, but the overall layout of the guitar is going to be pretty much the same thing, and that was my issue with it. But the guitar itself is great. It sounded really, really good. I can't play metal. You know what? I don't play metal anymore. What's the deal with the Burgundy Charbel knockoff? Must be talking about the Iconic, and that is a great guitar. I'm actually doing a video about that very soon. It's what was funny is, and I should do a video about this because I have a lot of super strats. Sean Tubbs did a video similar to this on his strats. I'm like, I should do super strats. But whenever I was talking to Kevin, who's awesome, and he was talking about which guitar to send over and stuff like that to try out, and I was like that one, and I didn't really know what to expect because I had the Cali at that point, and I was like, the Cali is such a great super strat guitar. I have my Charbel and the Acacia Pro, all these different super strats. I was like, is it just going to feel like all the other ones? And it was totally different. It really caught me off guard. It has the, what are they called? EMG retroactive pickups, which sound really, really good. It's the first EMGs I've ever liked. And it had its own neck profile, everything. I was like, all right. This one's like noticeably different. Would I ever buy a 7 or 8 string? I have an 8-string guitar right there. Ooh, you'll be seeing it soon. So right now the way I have my live streams, this week I'm going to work on getting the other way set up, but I have to switch over each time for you guys to hear the better audio. And if I switch over to that, you get direct audio, which sounds great, but you can't hear me talk. So that's why, unless I'm planning on playing for a few minutes, you guys have to, deal with like the crappy audio. I can't figure out why I don't have volume now. Oh, I'm in tuner mode. Would I recommend? You know what? P90s have their own sound. I wouldn't replace humbuckers or single coils with them. If it's at all a possibility, I would try to make it an addition to them. So if it's an option to get a guitar that has been there, because I never had P90s till that Vintage T, and now this one, and they're amazing. I'm so in love with P90s right now because they're just a completely different voice. I'm still using my Axe Effects. So most of the time in live streams, I use my Axe Effects because the controls are right here. The amps are too far away. That'll change once I get one of the Ampede amp switchers. What's the word on my pedal board? Oh, they're just waiting on me at this point, man. I haven't sent some of the stuff yet. So I don't know exactly when it'll be done. I know that Brian is super busy, and I've been really busy. So there's been no kind of like rush. It's just kind of a, whenever it gets done kind of thing. A bit too. So yeah, someone was asking earlier. Sorry, I got all distracted about the woman tone, and I was saying like I feel like this guitar, even though I believe the woman tone was on Eric's SG, I think that this gets it. So I'll let you hear some better audio with it. But I always like when I got P90s, I was like, oh, it kind of has that woman tone. There we go. Regretted not buying a guitar. One that got away. Yes. I won't say what it is because I'm actually hunting for one right now, and that's exactly what I want to do. I want to do a video about it. And they still make it, but it's not the same, and so I kind of have to look for one that would have been back around 2000, 2007-ish, something like that. It's funny, as I started playing the Sunshine of Your Love, I was like, oh shoot, this is copyright. I'm like, well, I'm committed now. Well, I can't play you my own stuff because it's just going to sound gargled, to be honest. Maybe once I get the other software set up, I'll be able to actually start playing backing tracks and stuff like that. And then I'd love to play you guys originals. But there's originals scattered all around through my gear demos and stuff like that. So, Old Guys Guitar Vlogs, dude, thank you so much for tuning in, man. I really appreciate that. 171 of you guys. Woo! I didn't realize that. How to use wrong notes. It's funny you say that because I already shot a video. And I called it "How to Avoid Copyright in 2019," and it's basically just me going like, just like one very. We all had coffee! Yeah, it really sucks with the way the copyright stuff's going, but... Get the other one with the new pots, which sound better at 10. I'll grab it right here. So, trivia question to people who've been watching for a while. What is the name of the gold top guitar? And what is the name of this guitar? Yeah! Howdy, howdy, howdy! So wait and see. Indy? Yep, this one's name is Indy. What is the gold top? What is the gold top's name? Yeah, what is the Fibson? This one's called Best at 10. So this one's name is Indy. But what is the gold top? I figured it would stump you guys. Alright, I'll tell you, the gold top's name is Paige. Goldie is pretty much what you would expect from me creatively, but its name is Paige. So we have Paige and Indy. Julian. Oh, did someone get it? Oh, you did! Julian. Oh, Juliana. Sorry, I read that name so fast. Yes, someone did get it. Do you know which arcane pickup RJ had? You know what? I don't, but that's one of the things I was talking to RJ about because the initial Volas that I had played, their USA ones, had bare knuckle pickups in there. And I just told them, I was just being honest, I really do not like those pickups. I was like, I don't think that they work well with the guitars. And they put arcanes in those guitars, and I'm just like, those are the pickups. Not that there's anything wrong with bare knuckle pickups. I just didn't think they sounded the best in those. But when I played them with those arcanes in them, because originally I played them at NAMM, I helped them set up and all that stuff. And I was like, oh my, I was like, what are these pickups? I go, these sound really good. And they're like, oh, they're Arcanes. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's why I like them so much. Do I name all of my guitars? Bam. I name most of them. Yes. So like, Les Paul's name is Indy. The Gold Top's name is Paige. The Cali's name is Sugar. The Vintage T's name is Betty. I haven't named the Kotzen yet. And like the Blue Telly's name is Old Blue. Well, creative, right? Mind-blowingly creative. The Crackle Charvel's name is Roxanne. So, you know, we name them. How old were you when I started playing? I was like 15, 16 years old when I started playing. And so I'm 29 now. I use 10-46 on everything, man. On all my guitars, even Les Paul's, you know, regardless of scale length. I use 10-46. Roxanne, you ain't got to put on a red light. That looks like a going. You know what? I did a video called "The Longest Run Ever," and I did it on the 8-string guitar, and I just went like this. I did this huge run all over the place. But so here is Indy. You'll hear a big difference now with these humbuggers. Let me flip this over. There we go. See, the copyright thing actually works out great, because now I have an excuse to just to riff. I never have to play anybody else's stuff again. Everyone has to suffer with my stuff. Hey! Steve from Boston, who will always be Pixie in my heart. No wonder it's my favorite. Yeah, this is my favorite guitar that I own. Make sure you guys subscribe to Steve from Boston. The man with the best tones on the tube. This is old water. That is the wrong bottle of water. What's your take on Tellys with humbuckers on them? You know what? I think they sound like the, what is it? Is it the Telly Deluxe or something like that, or the Nashville one, or that's the HSS Tellys? I don't know. Totally cool with it though. I think they sound great. I absolutely love a humbucker and a telly. You know, I really, really do. Like I said, my vintage T has P90s in it, and it's so much better than my American Standard Telecaster. You know, like leaps and bounds past it. Thank you, Big Red Tower. Yes, definitely check out Steve's channel. Steve is the man. Studio quality tones, radio quality voice. Steve from Boston. That should be your thing. It comes up before each video. 29. Man, you know what? Not next month. Geez, what am I talking about? In June, I turned 30. So I you know, the big 3-0. I've enjoyed my run through my 20s. It is really crazy. You know, like my son just had a birthday back in March, and he's 7 now, and I'm just like, that's so insane. What's hitting this? Oh, my zipper. You know, he's 7, and he's, you know, it really does make time just like go so fast, because I'm like, man, 7 years. I'm like, well, geez, I was 22 7 years ago, and you know, so much has went on, and all this stuff. See if I turned 30 in 96. Active or passive? You know what? I didn't like active pickups until I played the Fishman Fluence Classic set. So until that moment, I did not like actives. That's Mason liking his new sticker X. He likes it a lot, you know. So one of the things that we've been doing, he hasn't, he didn't play for a few days, and then last night he was like, Dad, why haven't we been doing guitar practice? I'm like, oh, well, dude, I'm like, you know, I'm leaving that up to you as much as possible. And he's like, well, you have to remind me. I'm like, hey, that's cool. I'm like, you know, I just didn't want it to ever feel like I was like putting pressure on him to do this. So now that he said that, I'm like, hey, man, I'll remind you each day. So we did it before I went live, because he asked me to, and I was like, well, you know, I want to make sure that this is always, you know, such a huge priority. But so what we did, and some people might not like this, but too bad, is so the way that we're doing it is essentially I'm teaching him, and then he teaches my wife what he learned, and he's really been enjoying that, and we all get stickers. So, which reminds me, I forgot to put one on my guitar. But he wanted us to put them on the back of a guitar, just like he is. So, unfortunately, we're putting stickers on guitars. But you know, he enjoys having us do that. So we've all got stickers on guitars now. But I think it's made it really, really good for him. It's been 20 years since you turned 30. But yeah, so we were working on, I'm just giving him like simple, fun stuff to play right now. I'm not really worried about that. This Les Paul is so heavy. Oh my god. It's like 12 or 13 pounds. It's the heaviest. When I took it in to get the volume knob replaced, Pat, the guy who was looking at it, and Ron, picked it up and he's like, oh my god. He's like, this is the heaviest Les Paul I've ever. I was like, I know. It's crazy how heavy it is. That's why I prefer to sit, or I've said it before, but if you ever see a video where I stand and play this, I'm always like super hot and sweaty, because you know it takes an hour or 2 hours to shoot one of those videos, and just like wearing this thing and trying to stand up and play is exhausting. It's so heavy, and I don't have a wide strap. Steve, have you seen the video where Mason gets his guitar? Have you seen how many stickers are on it? I see. We went and bought like so many stickers, and he just like decked it out. And but the back of the guitar, you know, one of our rules was he can't put stickers on the back, but each time he practices, he gets to put a special pack of stickers on the back of his guitar. And then once he fills up the back of his guitar, we are giving him the I did love it. Oh yeah, awesome. But once he fills up the back of his guitar, because the favorite guitar that we own, and I was going to sell it, is our blue American Standard Telecaster. This one. So this is his favorite guitar from all the guitars. So I told him once he fills up the back of his red, starter Strat with stickers, then we're giving him this one. So he'll get to I'll take it and get it set up real good for him, and it's got some little nibs on the frets and stuff like that, and it's got some dents and dings on it. But this is his favorite one. So like I said, once he fills that up, then he can get that one. Take it off eventually. Well, so what's funny is then, like today, he was in here during our lesson. He wanted to play the Les Paul, and the Les Pauls are the only two guitars that he's not allowed to play on his own. He can grab any other guitar in here, sit down, and bang around on it, and I'm not worried about. But the Les Pauls, he knows he has to ask to play those, and he's like, well, how many stickers do I have to get the gold top? I'm like, you could have this guitar after you've been playing for a few years, but not right now. This one is, you need to be a little bit older to have a Les Paul and really understand, like a Tele. I mean, it's a hunk of wood with some strings on it. You can literally beat the life out of a Tele and it's fine. Les Pauls are a little more delicate. I can actually hear Gabby. Sounds like she's playing her guitar right now. So, I know, right? He already wants the Les Paul. I'm like, bro, you're killing me. I can't tell you no, but you're killing me. But he asked for this one, and I said no. 100 million stickers to unlock the gold top. Dude, Steve. Did you get one of these? If you didn't, you need to. This, I'm telling you, man, best pedal. Yeah, so he was in here. I was letting him play the gold top and all that stuff, and and I really hope that he takes to it. I grew up, and my dad played guitar, but he played acoustic, which was great because we jammed acoustic, and I would learn a lot of bluegrass stuff from him and all that. But obviously, from the very beginning, I was an electric guitar player. I wanted to play rock, so he already really loves rock music and stuff like that. I don't think he has a choice. it's just played so much here, but I'm like, I would have loved to have, grown up, been 15, 16 years old, because by that point, if he sticks with it, he'll have already been playing for 7 or 8 years, and, have all these different amps and guitars to try out. That would have been, heaven, to be able to actually, play a Les Paul or something like that. Because, I had just nothing wrong with it, was Ibanez, but that was like, all I had for the longest time and all that stuff. Bolt-on, Nicholas, bolt-on set neck or neck through metal hard rock. Or, what's funny is I'm 100%, aside from this, Les Pauls are obviously set necks, but I'm like a bolt-on guy. Like, I didn't realize just how much of like a bolt-on kind of guitarist I was. And what I found is set neck guitars outside of Les Pauls, like a Strat style set neck, or well, I don't know what other ones are there, but anyways, like a Strat, like a double cutaway, feel weird to me the way they resonate. It's not even like the guitar itself. They feel great, they play great. It's something about the way, like, am I crazy? Do I sound weird? It's the way the guitar like resonates with itself. Like, it just, like, for some reason doesn't connect with me, and it's probably because I've always played bolt-ons. But I went in, and this was proof of the whole thing, was I went in and played a whole bunch of PRS guitars the other week, and I've played, private stock PRS, custom 24s throughout the years, all this kind of stuff. And after I played, you know, a bunch of them, my favorite one out of all of them that I tried, and they even had a really nice. It was like a, what's it called? It's a PRS. It's a semi-hollow. It has the 3 pickups in it, though. I mean, it's like a $5,000 or $6,000 guitar, and I preferred the PRS CE 24 over all of them, and it was a bolt-on, you know. And I'm like, I don't know if it's like, is that it? Is that just like it naturally like worked with me? You know, I don't know if it is just like, I mean, it did have a maple neck and it had like a satin finish on it, but I was like, it's just funny. I'm like, I'm just drawn to bolt-ons for some reason, and they just like the way it just felt like against my like body sitting there playing it, the way the guitar physically felt. I was just like, I don't know, like something about bolt-ons. I think I'm just so used to the way that is. The C, yeah. So the C, I was like, okay, this is a legit, because I've played other, you know, great PRSs. Steve, remember at GitCon the McCarty 594 and the Blue Jean? I think it was in Blue Jean Blue. Everyone was like sweating that thing bad with the rosewood neck. And I've played great ones, and just that CE, you know, stuck out to me whenever I played it. Yeah, there's that snap to it. There's like the bite, you know, something about bolt-ons. And like I said, and I'm sure that 100% has to come from such a heavy Strat background of bolt-on guitars. But even this one, when I play it, it feels like, not just like the neck feels different, the way my body feels literally the resonance of the guitar has a different vibe to it, and that could just because it's a Les Paul. But I don't know if I'm like tricking myself into believing all this mojo, but yeah, the McCarty was sick. So I think I've decided, you know, I think the McCartys and like the Modern Eagles and all that kind of stuff, they're just out of my price range for what I'm willing to pay. But the SEs are right there, and I'm like, okay, so this year I'm definitely going to get an SE, or not SE, a CE 24, because I don't have many 24 fret guitars. Lost on a hike. Oh man, Cheddar Kung Pao. I heard people who play 594s are really cool. Yeah, there's something about they put cheddar in their name or something. I don't know. Have your neighbors ever complained of all of the shredding? They have not. You know what's funny? Even when I turned all my amps on 10 and stuff like that, it wasn't that loud outside. You know, surprisingly, because I went outside to check. The only time I think I've ever gotten in a little bit of trouble was when I got my Marshall. I actually took it outside on our back porch and turned it on 10. And I could hear like the neighbors coming over. And I'm like, bail out, bail out. So that was obviously way too loud. But no, I've never had a single issue. And I play loud. You know, I do not play quiet unless it's late at night. You know, and obviously don't want to wake up the family and stuff like that. But I play loud all the time. Philip, what's poppin'? Oh, time. Would have loved. I bet I would have, man. I would have loved to have, you know, been back in that time. But you know what's funny is I also really love having grown up in the 90s. You know, just because, you know, I think the 90s were such a fun period too. Like it really like carried over. I know like the grunge music was around, but like the 90s really had a lot of that. I think the good energy from the 80s carried over really well into the 90s. And then the early 2000s was kind of like all like gloom and doom with a lot of stuff. But I think you know the '90s definitely kept that like the music was very upbeat, a lot of major bass things, and you know I definitely loved growing up in the '90s. Pantera. I was just telling my friend the other day that I have never played a set neck guitar that resonates the way I like. Yeah, it's weird, and some people are all about set necks. You know, they're like, oh, it's got to be a set neck. I don't want to bolt on. And for one, bolt on. Great thing about those things is you snap the neck in half. Well, just order a new neck. You know. Suit you would buy a new Night Swan. Possibly. You know, I will say one thing. I picked up one Kramer at NAMM, and it was so heavy. I can't believe it. I don't know if Steve remembers the Kramers. I think. Oh no, I was up there with Ike, not Steve. But yeah, it was crazy how heavy that guitar was. I was like, wow, this is a boat anchor for a Super Strat. So I was talking when I took the guitar in. The tech guy was just saying like he doesn't understand why guitars are have to be so heavy nowadays. And I was telling him that my vintage T, the Friedman, because he was saying that he wants a guitar to be under 8 pounds, and it seems like they're always 8. Like my Richie Kotzen is 8.4 or 8.6. So am I a gamer? I'm not. No, I think the last game system I had, we have an Xbox One, but it's my son's. He got it for Christmas. So I play games with him, but if I'm not playing with him, I never turn it on. No, the last real game system I ever got was a PlayStation 2, and I don't know what they're on now. Probably on PlayStation 22. Favorite Kramer right now? Nice, yeah. See, I've never played a Kramer. Oh, I take that back. I played an old original Pacer that a student had one time. I have played a double neck. Yep, they're intense and ridiculous. Oh, but anyways, what I was saying before is that the vintage T, the Friedman, weighs 7.1. So it's a very light guitar. It's hardtailed and all that stuff. But yeah, I want to take it in there for him to try because I think he'd really like it. Boss Katana 50. You know what? I really like the Boss Katana. It's really funny though. Like I did the Rev, which is right there, the D20 demo, and people were essentially complaining about how much it cost and comparing it to a Katana, and I'm like, you can't compare those two amps. It's two different things. I mean, it's comparing a Strat to a Les Paul. Essentially, they're both guitars, but they're totally different. They're both amps, but they couldn't be more different. You can't compare a tube amp to a solid state amp. It's just different worlds, An Emerald guitar. I've never heard of them. So possibly, but unfortunately, and I've talked about this before, you guys will pretty much only see relatively mainstream stuff on my channel. And that's completely on purpose. And it's not because I wanted to get the most views or anything like that. It's because I hesitate to work with more obscure companies because I don't know how they handle customers and stuff like that. Like when I work with Vola, when I work with Orange, when I work with Friedman, Rev, any of those guys, I know them not only on a business level, but a personal level as well. And I'm super confident that if I make a video and recommend a product to someone and they go there for that product, not that there can't be situations where something happens and maybe someone doesn't have a good experience, but I'm confident that 99% of the time the people who, I'm recommending to try something out are going to have a great experience with it. It's like with this pedal, the Electro pedal. I've recommended this to friends, all kinds of stuff. I'm like, dude, it's a fantastic pedal, So that's always kind of the tougher thing whenever there are, more obscure companies who want you to check stuff out. And I'm just like, I can't, I don't ever want to jeopardize, our relationship, like between me and you, for the sake of a product or for money and stuff like that. I just steer clear of it. Guitar Gaming, what's up? How's the closing? Really good. I've gotten to where I can. Panama probably got us all a little worried. Long-term viability of the company. Yes, 100. You nailed it, Steve. 100%. I took that experience, and I believe I took all my videos down. And I was like, okay, I need to learn from this right now, and I did, So, but the closed picking hand stuff is the 1% for the future C24. Dude, Cheddar, thank you so much, man. And sorry, I forgot to mention you earlier. If you guys have not yet, check out Cheddar's channel as well. He is part of the Friedman Club, and he's the cool guy with the 594 we were talking about. But dude, thank you so much for that super chat. But the close picking thing is, I've really got it down to I know what works. So when I'm doing real loose, funky stuff, Tone King, dude, what's up, buddy? Arnie, Ryan, everyone, Tony, you guys are all here. But when I'm doing the funkier stuff, I can't close my hand. I also can't, in my mind, remember that this is bridge, this is neck. So when I'm doing that kind of stuff, I can't close my hand. I have to keep my hand so loose to get that style of. But when I'm picking, you notice a lot now, when I do it, I do it much better when I'm like stuff like that. So I'm closing my hand here. I'll flip it over to better audio for a minute so you can hear it. My hands aren't warmed up now, so you'll have to excuse the bad notes. But. There you go. So you can kind of see how I've gotten really comfortable with adapting how I'm opening and closing my hand now. There were a lot of bad notes in there. Sorry. But you can see now, and I feel like my picking is becoming so much more proficient now that I've started adapting that into my playing. And I've been actually evaluating a lot about my right hand recently. So. Going on, can you please write my ribeye song? Yeah, I will right here in just a minute, man. But yeah, so you can see, like I said, my picking has gotten so much better. I'm not very warmed up right now, so it's a little bit sloppy Joe. But when when I do like a lot of that stuff now, I close my hand, and it's just helped so much. And I also found it's made me pick more of my wrist when I'm doing that kind of stuff. It's a lot more of my wrist, less of my arm. So yeah, I think it's going pretty well, but I still have to work on it. I catch myself sometimes. What I find is if I get where I'm trying to play too fast, I'm overdoing it a little bit. I see my fingers fan out because my arm is getting more tense, and I'm like, calm down now. How about you slow down? And then I kind of like reel it back in, and I'm like, all right. So yes, it's direct when I turn the mic off from the Axe effects. So anyways, Tunky, what pickups in the Gibby? So these are actually the original Gibson T-tops. So this is the last year that Gibson, they still make T-tops, but or maybe I don't know if they still do. But this is the one and only year, I believe, that no, I'm sorry, the one and only, the last year they were able to make double cream bobbin T-tops, because everyone thinks they're DiMarzios, and they are actually not. So, the ribeye song, or Brax, how should the ribeye song go? Sorry, the audio won't be the best, but when I think of ribeye, what do I think? I think of a riff that goes like this. Let's see, ribeye song. Got me a ribeye. Try to copyright my ribeye song, YouTube, and suck it! This is the ribeye song! He might rip my copyright song. So, there's your copyright song. Oh man, ribeye is obviously slightly country, slightly meaty, with a bit of hey, you know what? So, look, I didn't read your comment till right now. There were totally some country stuff in there. Classic little country, up to the major third. There we go. So we will, here. See, now you guys got me in a jamming mood, so you're going to have to suffer through this, but I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to jam. So you were born in 87? I was born in 89, man. Right at the very end of the 80s. But I still made it. I still made it in the 80s. I just don't remember it. So, yeah, sorry, you guys got me in the mood to jam, so deal with it. Hashtag deal with it. And there was only one good thing that came out of all of that. But here's a challenge where you play a montage of T-Tone King meets Steve from Boston riffs. Let me think. Like your own riffs, or you know, like common riffs. Like I know like you like Iron Maiden a lot, like that. Like I know the one I stole from Pixie is like, because the I can't do like him. I always loved like Steve's attack so much on the strings, you know, or he'll do like the. I've never been able to do it. Steve has such a good upsweep. I sweep down. But yeah, I've always tried to like sit there and figure that stuff. Oh man, Tom, can you show us the riff and the new referencing on Hot Bananas? Just kidding, thanks for that. Dude, Tom, thank you so much. Hot Bananas, how'd you know I wrote that song? So the Hot Banana song goes like this. Oh, wrong pickup again. This is my life now, not knowing which pickup I'm on. Yeah, so the way I constructed Hot Bananas was, you know, there wasn't enough major songs out there. So basically, you know, I started with, you know, a simple E major. And I went to this, which is, you know, G sharp, A flat, 7. Then I went to a C sharp minor 7. Good old B major. But this A major 9 chord was really, really quintessential for that, you know, and it has to resolve. So basically, when I wrote Hot Banana, what you gonna do? Where you gonna be? All I know is what was made for me. Don't be a hot banana. Don't be a hot banana. Don't be a hot banana. Oh man. There's there's hot banana. Oh, I already played it. See, my brain can't compute the chords. Damn it, my fingers are like, these aren't power chords! Oh man. Quick, let's copyright it. Oh man. Hot banana. Waffles this morning! Well, that's a whole different song. Hot banana on waffles? Follow up to Hot Bananas. Call it Dirty Frank. Well, actually, that's funny you mentioned that, because I've already written that. And that one is another very, very, I guess classy is the best word for it. It starts out with a C major 7. Goes to this nice A minor 7. And then back to the D minor 7. G7. E minor 7. A dominant 7. Down to your D minor 7. Back to G. and you're back at C major 7. So you put that all together, and you get. Oh man, there you have it. Can I have permission to cover Hot Banana? Permission granted. You can remember whatever it was that I played. I mean, of course I remember. I wrote that years ago. So how about back to the gold top here for a Munamento. Woo! Ugh. Not as heavy as the other one, though. Come on, baby, do the twist. Spinal Tap licks. I need to relearn all the Spinal Tap songs. Hit that like button. Smash the like button. Rock and roll guitar lot. Hey, thank you, man. I love this guitar. So like I said, the next Gibson that's definitely on the list is a 335. You need an Explorer? I looked into getting an Explorer before I got this one, and I went P90s. So I'll flip it over again here real quick. Some better audio for you, and then I'll jam here with distortion. And if you guys want to hear cleans, you can let me know in the comments. Thanks, so awesome. Whoa, what just happened? Whew. Thought I ended the stream. So, anyways, yes. So here's this. If you guys want to hear some cleans, I will flip that over here as well. But for now, we're gonna rock and roll. Sorry, someone said Les Paul with the Floyd Rose, and it just it about killed me. Whew. Barely made it out of that one alive. The shred. Sammy, you know what? Sammy does. Sammy's actually gonna come over. He doesn't live too far from me. Here real soon, Sammy will be coming over to hang out, and we're gonna do some stuff and all that stuff. And then I can, I can continue to complain about his Les Paul with the Floyd Rose. So it'll be great. EMGs, you know what? I'm not much of a fan of EMGs, but the retroactives that I have in the Iconic Evolution sound really, really good. Sammy does, in fact, rule. Sammy is, an amazingly good guitar player. My favorite guitar-related YouTube channel? I don't think I have one. I have a bunch of them. I absolutely love watching Rick Beato. I love watching Paul Davids, Rick Graham, Fluff, Steve from Boston, Tone King. I like all these guys. I've become friends with over the years. Like I still watch all their stuff, just like I did. Well, I'm still a fan. So I shouldn't say from when I was a fan. Still am a fan. So those are all the guys that I watch all the time. I watch Cheddar's videos. I watch my buddy Chris, the Guitar Pit, all that stuff. You never stop being a fan first, always. Yeah, Les Paul with a Strat is like with exactly with 2 minutes. It doesn't feel right. Exactly. Thank you. That's a great analogy. A great way to put that. Of course, Pete Thorne, Tim Pierce. Like I said, the list goes on and on and on of guitar guys that I like to watch. Like I said, Tim Pierce, Pete Thorne, all of them. I can't do the slap stuff, unfortunately. I did see that. Yes, I did watch that video, Tom. And I was so pumped up. I love Andy James. Andy is a great guy, amazing player. But, definitely Rick is, of the two of them, who I listen to the most is Rick. And that was so cool for Rick Graham. I should say. Forgot there's two Ricks. But it was so cool of Rick Beato to do that. And he did something that I love. I think all the best interviewers I've ever watched, do exactly what Rick Beato did. He just sat there. He would comment on stuff, ask them questions, but he let them talk. He just let them talk. I was like, that's perfect. Like, I hate whenever someone's interviewed and the interviewer is like interrupting them or like changing the subject too fast. I'm like, I love whenever they just let the person talk. Two Ricks and an Andy. Like I was just watching Tommy Emmanuel Gear Tour from 2014, and he was talking, and it was funny because it was like 3 pieces of gear, maybe like 4, and someone was like, commented that it was like a 45-minute video for a guy who like basically uses no gear, and they're like, and I'm okay with that because like I was like just even more than the gear, I want to hear like their stories, I want to listen to them talk and stuff like that. So I thought that Rick Beato did a perfect job of interviewing them and asking them questions. You could see that, Rick Graham and Andy were really, good chemistry and stuff like that. So I think that's what I admire most about Rick Beato is he like perfectly, I don't know the right way to say this. He perfectly knows like his place in the situation, musically, and like when he's interviewing someone else, like because obviously Rick has just as much knowledge or maybe more than what Andy and Graham have, but he's there to interview them. He's just kind of sitting back and done this stuff. They're all amazing, but I love his appreciation for all music, and even watching some of his stuff, made me realize I'm like, okay, I'm kind of being a music snob about a lot of this stuff. And I'm just like, you know, find appreciation in what's happening. You know, don't make fun of it. Well, I make fun of my favorite music. I make fun of Van Halen, but don't like you know, completely like diss it and stuff like that. Yeah. But alrighty, guys, I think I'm gonna hop on up. I don't know if there's even many. Oh, 131, nice. So yeah, I am gonna hop on off here, guys. I will play for a minute longer. I'll give you guys some cleans. I know we've been jamming this whole time, but I'll hit you with some cleans. Cause yo, if there's one thing you gotta do when you got P90s, you gotta do some cleans. So here's some clean action, and then I'll hop back on here and I'll say bye. But anyways, cleans, P90s, all the hum. There we go. I don't know what that one thing in there. I thought you guys can tell me. I didn't think it sounded half bad. I mean, it was all improvised, but oh, I could just go. Yeah, so maybe that'll be a riff or something. Anyways. Whew. So until next time, post it on Facebook. Okay, man, I'll try to remember to check that out. I don't have Facebook and all that stuff on my phone anymore. So I'll try to check that out once I get back on a computer after this, maybe later tonight. But yeah, I got rid of all that stuff on my phone. So I do have Instagram, but other than that, I was just staring at my phone too much. Sure, someone probably doesn't. I probably just wrote someone else's song and copyright claimed. But other than that, guys, hey, thank you all so much. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. Jason Wade, the newest member. Jason, are you still here? It looks like you are still here. So one more time for Jason Wade, the new channel member. And you know what? Let's do this. New member of one more time. There we have it. No, I still have Facebook. I just don't have it on my phone. But made that up. You got proof you made that up on this? Yeah, all the bad notes that were in there. There's the proof. Later, guys. Have a great day. Thank you, Super Chat, guys. Thank you as always. You're all incredibly amazing. And, yo, I will see you all later. Bye, guys. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm actually out of here now. Bye, guys.